Greetings, monkey brain.
Oh, is it me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, interesting. Okay, so you guys can hear me.
Yes, sir.
I guess my question is, like, let's say everything in the Bible is true. Like, it's all like literally true. Jesus like died, came back to life, he did miracles, etc. Like, how would you know that Yahweh / the Father is really the ultimate God? Like, how do you know that the God you're worshiping is actually omniscient and the final God?
Well, I think that if what you said in the first premise there is the case, then you would have other things that necessarily follow from that. So, for example, if Jesus really is who he claimed to be and he did rise from the dead, that would then mean that what he says in the Gospel of John, say chapters 5 to 9, is also true, that his Father is the Yahweh of the Old Testament. And by extension, it would mean that all those appearances in the Old Testament of the angel of the Lord as Yahweh are also Christ. So the whole thing, it was kind of like a package deal. The rest of it would necessarily follow.
But that's not really getting to the crux of my question. Is like, okay, it's all true. Like, he really is like the apparent creator of the universe.
So you said, how would I know that Yahweh is the true God? And you said that's not getting to the answer of your question. That is the answer.
Yeah, the ultimate, like how does Yahweh know that he's actually the ultimate power?
How does God know that he's God?
I guess, yeah. For the sake of brevity, yes.
Well, I mean, if God is omniscient, then by definition he would know that he is omniscient.
But how do we know that he's omniscient? Like, how do we not know that he's mistaken?
Well, because the divine revelation is a package deal. So the rest of the propositions that we're talking about, like, can God lie? No, he cannot lie. How do I know that? Well, because the other parts of divine revelation that go along with what It's not that is God lying. It's how do we know that God isn't mistaken? Like, what if there's like... Because, like, I can conceive of a reality where... I mean, are you not hearing the answer? Maybe you're just not getting the answer. I'm not trying to be mean.
You're not really... No, but you're not really answering it. You're kind of...
I am answering it. You just don't understand the answer. The answer is that if you admit the first part, that Jesus is who he says he is, then the totality of divine revelation, which is the whole package deal, is all true.
I'm not saying that Jesus is who he says he is. I'm saying that Jesus died and came back to life.
You said, if that is true.
That's a different... There's a subtlety, for sure.
Okay.
But...
I understand what you're saying, so stop trying to sound super smart, like you've got me some technicality.
I think you're doing that.
So, do you understand that I did respond to your argument? Do you want me to state it again for you?
I wouldn't say that you actually responded to it.
Can you stop breathing? Like we know that you're got a sexy voice here, so the breath work is hot. I admit it's hot, but just give me a second here.
A girl named Jasmine would appreciate that.
So you said, I understand it's an if, it's a conditional. I understand that. So I understand you don't believe this. You said if it is the case that Jesus rose from the dead, and if it's the case that he's who he says he is, what I said was that would mean it's a necessary implication. That was my response to you. It would necessarily imply that the rest of the divine revelation is also correct. Because it's a package deal, and that's how Jesus presents his divine revelation, is as a package deal. And that package deal includes other propositions that we believe within Christian theology and philosophy, such as the belief that God the Father is his deity, is the God of the Old Testament, and other propositions like God is omniscient. So that's the answer. So you may not accept that, but that is the consistent answer.
I mean, this is clearly dodging my question. Because there is a universe.
Literally the answer to your question.
There is a universe where Jesus died and came back to life miraculously, but he's not actually the son of the true God. Is that correct?
No. It said absolutely nothing like that. What are you talking about?
Why can't that be the case? Like, why can't that be the case? Like, how would we tell the difference?
Oh my gosh. So again, it's a package deal. If Jesus rose from the dead, then the whole religion is true, and that includes the other propositions within the divine.
No, because
do you not understand that?
That does not follow. Because there could there be a reality where Yahweh really is the creator of the universe, et cetera, but there's a higher God that's testing him, doing something.
That is not possible.
Why is that not possible?
Because that other reality, or a worldview where that's possible, would not make knowledge possible. We would not have the ability to justify our knowledge.
That's like barely an English sentence.
Right. So
basic. It makes knowledge.
Yeah, basic epistemology, you say, is not even an English sentence, correct?
No, I mean, come on. You're doing what I was expecting you to do.
Which is what?
The apologist thing, where you kind of
I'm an apologist. Yeah, so we're doing apologetics. You're surprised that I'm doing apologetics,
and you're just kind of aggressively like,
now I'm aggressive.
Like, you're doing the thing.
Oh, here we go.
Well,
do some more breath work.
I think I've gotten what I'm going to get out of this. I appreciate your
right.
time.
So if we go into actual epistemology, you're ready to go, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
Yes.
Exactly. See ya.
If you can actually,
Right. So I'm making a transcendental argument. Can you tell me what's wrong with that?
Because there's no way for any human to ever tell the difference.
So we don't know what transcendental arguments are. They're not logical arguments.
How do we differentiate different levels of gods?
I don't know. We're talking about levels of gods. I'm making a transcendental argument to address your last objection.
Like, what? How would a human ever possibly know the difference?
I'm making through a transcendental argument.
But it's not valid. Like, that's
Says
not.
Who? Wait a minute.
No human could ever tell the difference.
Actually, transcendental arguments are valid. They're logical formulations that are valid. X is
not really.
Oh, really? X is a necessary condition of Y. Y, therefore X. That's not valid?
But how would I ever tell the difference between a God who thinks he's God and is it relative
so,
to me?
Again,
God,
you don't even know what we're talking about. You're just mad.
No, I'm not. You're just kind of completely ignoring everything I'm saying.
Right. So I'm saying that the answer to your question is a transcendental argument, and I gave you the form of but you don't even know what it is. You're just out of hand hand waving it and dismissing it.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. I have a clear question here. How do I tell the difference between something that's an apparent God that is just infinitely more powerful than I am, and the true ultimate final God? How do I tell that difference?
So there's not levels of God, first of all. I don't know where you got this idea. Never argued. I've never heard. I've never even heard.
I mean, well, that's
what are you talking about?
We have to be clear.
Yeah, we do.
There could be beings that, relative to us, would effectively be gods. I mean, there could be, right?
In the Christian universe, in our theology, there's one uncreated God, and everything else that might be called Elohim or whatever, an angel or something like that, or a devil, is a created being. So you could say, okay, maybe they have powers that humans don't have.
You're still referencing.
No, I'm just answering what our worldview is. I'm not saying it's the case. I'm just giving you the explanation of our position. You understand?
But how do we tell the difference between these Elohim?
So the way that we tell the difference is that divine revelation is a package deal, and it presents us with a way to give an account for our entire worldview, our knowledge, our metaphysics, and our ethics. That's called a transcendental argument. So any position, let me finish, any position or worldview that would contradict at a fundamental level would destroy the possibility of knowledge, and that is itself the argument. That's a transcendental argument.
But again, this is just a blunt argument. Like there's
blunt argument. What does that even mean? You said it's not even valid. You don't even know what valid arguments are.
How do we tell the difference? Like because
one of them would not give a justification for knowledge, one worldview, and the other one would. That's how we tell the difference. Do you understand that?
Could there be like a godlike being who could give us something resembling knowledge, but without actually being
no? So this would be like Descartes' evil demon objection, and that's a self-refuting worldview. So it's really not. It is because it would destroy
Yahweh.
So you had a philosophy 101 class. You don't even know anything about epistemology. I'm telling you.
I did engineering. I did engineering school.
Even better. Yeah. So and as usual, they're the ones that really know philosophy better than the people that study philosophy, right?
To an extent, to a certain extent, yes.
I guess you do, right? So you don't even know what a transcendental argument is. You've already told me it's not valid, even though the form is itself valid, right? And then when I explain it to you, you tell me that that's just a blunt example. What does that even mean, blunt?
You're just kind of declaring yourself to be right. Like you're not.
No, I get you. Again, you do not understand what a transcendental argument is to such a low level that you think me explaining the argument to you is me just saying that I'm right.
But it's not convincing.
Well, that's a problem on your side. And that's not my problem.
I don't think it is. I think it's a problem on your side.
But it's your ignorance of what the argument is and your lack of knowledge of basic epistemology.
Because there's no clear answer. How do I tell the difference between a God-like being?
So the fourth time we answer this, which you still don't, just goes right over your head. The answer is that a worldview that posits a fundamental contradiction in the possibility of having knowledge would cancel out that worldview. So, for example, Descartes... Stop interrupting me. Descartes' evil demon worldview makes knowledge impossible because you cannot know anything that's a true proposition. You could not know what the true worldview is to contrast against the false worldview. These are very common critiques of the evil demon position, which, if you claim to have all this knowledge of philosophy, you would know that.
But what's wrong with us just not knowing what the real reality is? Like, what's wrong with that?
You couldn't argue against it. You don't have anything to judge the fake reality against. So it doesn't work as an argument.
It feels like you're trying to play philosophy games instead of answering.
You appealed to Descartes' evil demon.
Because you're not really giving it, like, I'm answering, like...
You don't understand the argument. You simply don't understand the argument.
I'm asking practical questions.
About very theoretical and abstract things, and when I give you a theoretical abstract reply, you just don't simply understand.
But they're not really theoretical.
No, you simply don't understand the replies, and you can't fathom that.
No, well, I can't fathom that really. Like,
Tell me okay, so what is a transcendental argument?
I don't know. It's the whole thing.
It's the whole thing. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, come on. Like,
why don't you breathe some more at me?
It's
These arrogant douchebags. Look, see how arrogant these people are?